Rise and take your sword.
I thought I was done fighting.
Agents of the Shadow seek your destruction.
I'll do it. One last time. Of course it breaks. Oh, I'm so dead. Hello everybody, and welcome to another video on the Psionics channel. It's been a bit, but I'm back. And today, we're going to be looking at durability and how I feel it's a band-aid fix for a much larger problem. So, let's get into it. Before we even get to talking about durability, I feel like it's right to just address the elephant in the room. Mobility melees are overpowered, objectively. When you look at a mobility melee, they do high damage, they have large hitboxes, they're really easy to use, and they give you infinite mobility for the duration of the match. Those are the four main things that make mobility melees extremely powerful. And you may be saying here, well, there's no issue with it being extremely powerful, it's just mobility. Well, it's not just mobility because it also has melee attacks that are actually really good, and being able to get up close to your opponent is key in Fortnite. You're either going to be spraying them long range or you're going to be super close range with a shotgun. And if you're able to close a gap quicker than the other person, you have the advantage. It means that you can also run away and stay at AR range if you want to just spray them down that way if they don't have a very good long range weapon. So that kind of leads into point number 2. They suck to fight against unless you have your own mobility item, which means you are at a strict disadvantage against somebody with either a kinetic blade or the wind blade. If they have either one of those, you have a significant disadvantage because they're able to get height on you with the double jump of the wind blade, or with the kinetic blade, they're able to use the kinetic charge in order to boost themselves upwards. You can also use that, as I said, to get out of a fight. They can back away, they can heal, and then they can push right back in. It gives them too much of an advantage for it to be fair for you to fight against them without your own. Which is why I feel durability is such a big issue. While I understand that durability is a fix, because now you're going to be using your mobility item less, it's really not the fix that the items need. I feel that they need either significantly longer cooldowns or significantly more usage penalties, right? So with durability, with either the kinetic blade or the wind blade, their durability is huge. You can use them a lot, but it's not enough to make you to the end game, right? So in the end game, it's up to whoever has the most durability left on their mobility items, especially in zero build, which is kind of unfair in my opinion. I think everybody should be able to fight on a level playing field. So if you were to drastically increase the amount of durability that it takes to utilize the weapon, it would massively equalize the fights, because now even if they have a mobility item, they're thinking about their usage a lot more. But at the current state, durability is just a nuisance and it's a band-aid fix. In reality, if you really want to make mobility items useful while also not being overpowered, you have to nerf their damage and increase the cooldowns on the item. I understand that a lot of people don't want increased cooldowns, but I feel like it would be something necessary to balance a lot of these overpowered items. The kinetic blade is possibly one of the most balanced mobility items ever. 3 charges, they come back every, I believe it's 10 or 5 seconds, it's somewhere in that range. You're able to use it for short bursts of mobility, it can knock players backwards, but overall you can't jump into somebody's box with a kinetic blade and expect to win just by shinging. Um, that's the opposite with the wind blade. The wind blade has a secondary ability where you can do a slash that goes through boxes, and you can instantly jump into their box and just shing, shing, shing them to death. So, honestly, with the Wind Blade, it needs to be balanced a lot more. I feel like the damage needs to be slightly decreased, and I feel like the durability needs to be lowered if you were to balance it with durability in mind. However, I feel a cooldown increase would probably be a better fix. And then we recently got news that the new drill rocket, which is similar to the rocket ram, will have durability. And now my issue with that is why? They have such long cooldowns. The rocket ram is extremely balanced, and it's been called that by multiple people. A lot of the community sees it as one of the most balanced weapons. Why are we adding durability to it? The fact that you add durability just decreases the amount that are in the loot pools, because as the game goes on, now there's less, right? Let's say that there's 10 per game, and then 6 of them break by the end of the game. Now there's only 4 left. I mean, even if you kill somebody with it, they're going to have a broken one, right? So it puts you at a severe disadvantage if you have somebody who's been holding on to theirs the entire game and has full durability. That's with any of these melee weapons, and that's why I feel durability is just not the right solution, because it encourages turtling way too much, when in reality, Fortnite should be a fast-paced game where you go person to person just wrecking them, right? That's what we want it to be. That's what most people see this game as. It shouldn't be a turtling game. But they're kind of turning it into a turtling game by limiting mobility more than they previously have. And now, your argument may be, well, we've had unreusable mobility items for years in this game, and they've been perfectly fine. I mean, you never complain about shockwaves, do you? And while I say, okay, yeah, I've never disagreed with shockwaves, I think they're a fine item, I feel like shockwaves are far more common than mobility melees. So the fact that you have this less common item that you're now making more scarce, I'm not the biggest fan of that. And my counter argument to that is we've had infinite melee mobilities, and they haven't really unbalanced the game before. Things like, again, the kinetic blade wasn't super unbalanced. You could fight a person with a kinetic blade and still come out on top. The shockwave hammer, that wasn't bad in any manner. It was actually a fairly balanced item, especially after they removed one charge from each of the hammers. We've even had, well, the rocket ram, to put it out there, was extremely balanced, like legitimately one of the most balanced weapons. When you're in the air, you're extremely vulnerable, it's easy to counter. Similar with the kinetic blade, when you're using the kinetic blade, you kind of hesitate in the air before charging, which gives people a chance to snipe or use a scoped AR on you. You also have, again, Shockwave Hammer, very predictable, very similar to Shockwaves, but more infinite. So, my issue is just the scarcity makes them less powerful, and Shockwaves, I know they're not infinite, they've been working for forever, but there's also cases where infinite items can work, you just have to balance them properly. But that's my thoughts on durability. I think it's kind of a band-aid fix, and I think if Epic Games wants to keep doing mobility melees in more of a long-term stance, I believe that they should find a way to balance them better and go back to things like the kinetic blade and the rocket ram, which were extremely balanced. Look at those and then design future melees more similar to those. Other than that, thank you for watching the video. If I may ask, would you please leave a like and subscribe to the channel? I'm going to be producing more similar content, hopefully more consistently, and I'll be, of course, putting something out as soon as the new season comes out. So, I'll see you around.